live stream. I might have to adjust this camera just a little bit. Today we are printing a gradation on a piece of China plywood. And we're continuing with a print here. It's a landscape print. We'll be printing this green from the bottom here to the horizon, covering this purple color and just leaving a little bit of the purple color in the distance. So let's get started. I've already rolled out some of the ink here. A gradation of dark green turning to a little bit of a yellow green and then some white. I added some transparent base into these colors. And over here on the block, I don't want to hit this area here, so I have to just be careful when I roll this out. I'm not expecting too many people today because I usually do these live streams at around noon or lunchtime, and I usually announce them a little bit ahead of time. But today, this is just a last minute stream. So we might get some new people and we might get absolutely nobody. So let me just pull up my YouTube channel here so I can look at the comments while we work. See here. It's not working. Is this live stream working? It seems like it is. Just can't see the comments yet. See here. There we go. Pull this up. It's not registering. Bear with me, guys. I don't know why. Let's see if this is still working. I don't have anyone on here. It's saying it's live, so I'm just going to continue for now. Yeah, it's not showing up here. Is live. One view 3 minutes ago. Why isn't it coming up though? It's not saying that it's coming up. On my computer. Hold on one second. Sorry for the delay. I'm not sure why it's not coming up. I'm wondering if I should restart it. Well, I'm just going to keep going. So here we go. Let's take this impression. I'm going to fold this down just to protect that area. Today I'll be using the ball bearing Baron. This might be a bad time of the day to do a live stream because the school across the street is going to be letting out soon. So we could get a lot of noise, background noise from the cars out front. So I apologize for that. Let's look and see what we have. Oh yeah, it's not bad. It's a nice green gradation. We left just that purple area at the top in the distance. A lot of this area down here will be covered with trees. Up here will be covered with trees. And there'll be a key block over this. So a lot of this green will be covered. And I think that's a good value. That's about the same value as the rock here. I'm going to try to pull up the comments again on my screen. I don't know why it's not working. Let's just turn this off. Yeah, it's not coming up. So we're having some technical difficulties, but I'm just going to keep working. Make sure I lift that up. Piece of someone's here. Does the ball bearing Baron work better for gradients? It's working better for this large shape. It's easier to get a nice smooth impression. I could use the other Baron as well. They both would work. I'm putting enough ink on. Where both Barons would work well. The ball bearing just is easier to, I don't have to press as hard. It's easier to get a harder pressure. Doesn't take as much effort or elbow grease. So I like to use it in larger areas. You can get a nice even pressure across the whole surface. You know, the application of ink on this one, thank you, Daniel, appreciate it. The amount of ink on the block was a little bit less on this one, and you could see that purple color coming through. Now, I like that in this print. I like a little bit of texture, a little bit of variety there, so I'm going to leave that. Like I said, a lot of this is going to get covered. I do have a transparent base in these inks, so they are transparent and you're seeing underneath the purple color. So I'm liking that color right now. Just keep on going. I don't mind if there's a little bit of variety in each print. But if I wanted to adjust that, just add a little bit more ink to the roller. If I want to get a little bit more blending, I just turn my roller, do a little crisscross here, and that blends it a little bit more. Because of the shape here, it's like a peninsula. I have to angle the roller a little here to get those edges. If not, I would hit this area, which was the last impression we did. So because I twist this, I'm getting some of the darker ink down here. So I just have to go back and make sure I smooth it all out in the end. So here's the print beforehand. I really wish I could pull up these comments, because if I don't see them, because I'm doing this horizontal, let me see if I can. Yeah, I don't know why I can't see this today. Yeah, it's not saying that I'm live. I think it's frozen. Oh well. So I might not see all the comments today. Hey Pam. I'm having some technical difficulties. I can't see the comments very well, and they seem to be disappearing. So if you have a question, if I don't answer it, just I have to look at my screen in between. So if you have a question, just ask me a couple times, and hopefully I can get to it. So when I have it in the vertical format, the comments stay on the screen. Let me see if I can pull up the comments here. Top chat, chat viewing options, live chat. Okay, here we go. I think I fixed it. I'm not sure. Anyways, let's just keep printing. So today's Friday. Happy Friday to everyone out there. Hope everyone has had a good week. I love using this big roller. It does a very good job applying the ink. Today's probably going to be a quick little short stream. Just wanted to document what I was doing. It's not at the normal time that I stream. So here, there was something on the block. So you get this little donut shape. So what we can do to fix that is first get that piece of wood off of the block. And sometimes we can just lay the print back down and just work that area. Hopefully it worked itself out. So got rid of most of it. You can also just see now it left a little white scratch where the tool was. So if you really wanted to fix it, you could just tap the ink and then tap that area. It's gone. And make sure you clean your finger off so you don't get ink on your print. How do I get the comments to come up on the screen? I don't know. What's this? Retouch on, retouch off. Yeah, I don't know how to use this thing. So, just won't mess with it. I forgot to flip down my flap here. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah. Getting an area where the ink keeps touching the negative space here. So I have to wipe that. But a way to remedy that is to just grab a chisel. In this case, I'm going to grab a U-gouge, a larger one. And being careful not to get any wood chips on my ink. I'm just going to roughly carve out that area. Remove those chips. Make sure there's nothing on the surface. Like I said before, we might get some honking from the parents picking up the kids across the street. So if it gets too crazy, I'll just end the stream. Today's not running very smoothly because I can't see the comments. I can't pull it up on my iPad for some reason. So how many more impressions do we have? We have one impression for these trees, one impression for this set of trees. Those might go at the same time, just two different colors. So 1, 2, a gray over this rock feature, 3, key block, 4. So probably only 4 more impressions for this one. It's going to be a quick little print. We'll see how it turns out. See, I have a piece of my wood chip that I just carved over here, so I'll remove that. It's important to keep everything clean and tidy because you can get a lot of mistakes. you don't work. Sorry if I'm missing any comments. If anyone's missing comments, just retype them and I'll try to see them on the screen, because they pop up on my screen for like 5 seconds and they disappear on my phone. And when I stream horizontally or vertically, they stay on my screen. So I guess that's one downside to streaming horizontally compared to the vertical. I don't know why they won't stay on my screen. I'll have to do some research and figure out how to turn that on. Because I did have some comments. People prefer these longer format live streams on a horizontal. And I agree with them. I viewed some of these replays on the vertical format, and I just don't think many people are using their phones to watch these videos. And if they are, they can just turn their phone sideways to get the full screen. I was on the cliff yesterday climbing, and I was right at this same exact location. It's a beautiful day, nice fall day yesterday. It's a little bit overcast and cool, but the cooler temps make the friction of the rock on your shoes and on your hands. I think the temps were in the mid-50s. It's actually a really perfect temperature for rock climbing. So cooler temps, lower humidity equals really good friction. So the rubber on your shoes just sticks to the rock really well. Plus I'm not overheating when I'm climbing because it's cool out. Just had a long sleeve t-shirt on really the whole day. But I prefer the cooler temps when I'm outside hiking or cycling or climbing. So I'm putting on this little flap that I put a piece of plastic tape over here, and I just taped it to the block so that protects that area from the rest of the print. You can actually see there's a little bit of ink still wet on it from the last time I printed. So I don't want to get that on. That would be, it would probably print somewhere in this gray area. So I just do that to protect it. And you can see my little fix here. We're not getting any ink here anymore. Still getting a little bit here, but that's okay. So I was at the Met earlier today. I had an in-person interview for a job in the European Paintings department. The interview went very well. The people there are very, very professional. Very nice. They made me feel very comfortable. I was nervous going into it. It was an honor to go there and go through this interview process. I think this was the last stage of the process, so we'll see how it goes. But after my interview, I stuck around and I walked through the European paintings area, or the wing, and then I headed over to the... It's funny, so where I was dabbing my finger, you could see the ink is a little bit different in that spot because I was pushing the ink in with my finger on the wood surface, and I worked that ink into the surface just a little differently, and you could see that in that area. It's showing through. So this print's coming along. I worked my way over to the American wing, where some of my favorite painters are. A lot of the Hudson River Valley painters, Kensett, and I saw a lot of Sargent had some watercolors up, him and his daughter Emily. So they have Sargent's watercolors. It's in this like little hallway gallery. Sargent's watercolors, and then on the other side of the hallway was his daughter, I'm guessing Emily. I didn't read any of the information, I'm pretty sure it's his daughter. And they have their watercolors facing each other. So as you can hear, I'm guessing you can hear that, which is a horn. It's a car horn. And we have buses currently out front, and it might get loud, so if it's really annoying, just turn your sound down. I apologize. If it gets out of hand, I'll just end the stream, because sometimes the horns just go on for 20-30 minutes straight. So the buses, they block the whole road because it's a one-way street, and people park on both sides of the street, and you can't get through. So the buses just clog the whole lane, the whole road for about a half an hour, 20 minutes, and people get frustrated and they just lay on their horn nonstop. I call it the honking hour. And this is the time of day where I put my noise canceling headphones on and I listen to podcasts or I listen to music, because the honking hours can get frustrating at times. But yeah, I saw a lot of watercolors by Sargent. A lot of Homer paintings I was looking at today. Winslow Homer. He has some really nice like waterscapes. These like really turbulent shorelines with like crashing waves and rocks, and he does a really good job at like cropping the image with the rocks in the foreground. Really dark, saturated purples and blues and warm reds and cools. And then he has these crashing waves and this turbulent water. But when you get up close, they're just huge brushstrokes, like really thick brushstrokes of paint, and it's really nice. And from a distance, they look amazing. And up close, they're just totally abstract. Just large brushstrokes and color shapes. It's hard for me to spend a lot of time at the Met because I get so inspired by the paintings and the works that I just want to get back home and get back to work on my own stuff. So it's hard for me to spend more than 45 minutes to an hour there. I just like tell myself, what are you doing? Like, get home and get to work on your own projects. So I took some photos and took some videos. Maybe I'll do a quick little video, put it on my YouTube this evening or tomorrow, just showcasing some of the things I saw. I saw Edward Hopper house painting, What else did I see? Some really cool paintings of the Adirondacks, the Catskill Mountains. I stopped by the prints and drawing hallway or wing, and they actually had a Turner, William Turner watercolor that was really beautiful. They had a couple linoleum cuts by some German or Austrian artists. I don't know the artists off the top of my head, but there were some reductive or multicolored lino cut blocks of very like geometric figures, abstract forms, and those were very nice to see. But I think the highlight for me today was looking at those Homer paintings. And I like the prints and drawing wing because they change over those exhibitions on a very regular basis, because they can't allow the paper to be out for more than, I don't know what the time frame is, like say 3 or 4 weeks at a time, because the paper, the prints, and the pigments, they're all so sensitive to light that they only allow them out for a certain amount of time, and then they have to go back into storage. And they're not allowed to be viewed for quite some time after that. So they're constantly changing over that wing the most. So every time I go there, it's something totally different. I forgot to put down my protective layer, and yeah, I got a little bit of orange. I don't know if you can see it, there's a little bit of orange in there right here, but that's okay. It's going to get covered with a gray and a black. And then again, we have another little donut, which is a piece of wood or dust on the block. So I'm just gonna lay this back down and actually I kind of prefer the other method, which was just tapping my finger and tapping that's good enough for me. Most of this is going to be covered anyways. So be sure to cover this next time. Again, if anyone's asking questions and I didn't get to them, just type them in again. It's anybody. A piece of stuff. Our other print's probably dry by now. It's still sitting here in the rack. I have to frame this soon. So this print is officially done. It's dry too. But yeah, I was on the cliff somewhere around here yesterday. We did go to the top of the cliff. There's 3 pitches. Usually it's done in 3 pitches. You go up one to this, there's a big ledge that runs along the whole, you can kind of see it here. There's a big ledge that runs along the whole cliff. It's called the GT ledge, the Grand Traverse ledge, but we call it the GT ledge. And it's just a natural ledge that's along this whole. So the first pitch is usually from here up to the GT ledge. It might actually be higher on the cliff. And then second and third pitch are usually up after that. You sometimes can get from the bottom to the top in one long pitch. You have to have a good rope management because you create rope drag as you're going up. The rope runs along the rocks and it's going through all your gear. And you can only do that if you have really good rope management and a route that just goes straight up. A lot of the routes out there are they wander a lot. So they'll go up, they'll traverse left or right, they'll go up again. And the Gunks is really known for a lot of roofs, meaning you'll climb up to an area and there'll actually be a section of a roof which is overhung and you have to climb through it. And that creates a lot of rope drag when you take bends and turns and go over roofs. So you have to break him up into multiple pitches. So you build an anchor, and you bring up your partner to that spot, and then you continue from there. And you do that 2 or 3 times until you get to the top, and then you rappel down at a rappel station. It's called multi-pitch climbing. See, doing this is good, but it creates little wood particles that are more likely to get in your print. So you got to be careful. I'm just brushing those onto the floor. I'll sweep them up later. So let's print this one. Got a couple sheets left. And I have some frames here that I received in the mail, so I have to open them up and start framing up the print that we just finished and a couple others. This one is going to get framed as well when it's finished. I need to finish this week. I only have 10 days left to get everything ready before installation. So I have this print framing and 2 other little paintings that I'm still finishing. And I'm hand making some smaller frames still that need to be sanded. I have to make 2 or 3 more and then sand all of them. Prepare those. Thanks, Pam. I'll get it all done. It's just still a lot of work to do before. And then I have to make like a price list and wall labels and get everything in order. I also want to photograph everything before I install it, in case somebody buys something and it goes to a new home before I have time to document it. But I also want to frame these prints before I put them behind glass or plexi, so I can have them for my website. So there's a lot of things to do. All right, 2 more sheets. I did see a Georgia O'Keeffe. I know I mentioned her last stream. One of her skull paintings. It's just this huge, large skull centered on the canvas. Some bright reds and blues behind it. She worked in series mostly. She had the skull series. Her flower series is probably her most popular. It's hard to spend a lot of time at the Met because you're just visually overstimulated. It's quite exhausting. All right, last one. And then we're gonna head into the weekend. I'm going to continue to do some work. I'll probably go do some painting. We have some good light still here for another 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. So I'll go in the other room. I have a studio set up in my computer room. Pretty much my whole apartment is a studio right now. Every room has got some sort of art project going on. Another piece of stuff. I'm getting good at picking the garbage off of the block. This time let's just lay it back down and try to do it that way. When you do that, you got to be careful not to touch the wet ink. Yeah, this seemed to fix it. It's all gone. So there we are. So this print's coming along. Still healthy, clean colors. Thanks for joining us, Pam, and anyone else who's out there. I appreciate it. So everyone have a good weekend. See you next time. I'm not sure when I'll do the next stream. Probably tomorrow, actually. Probably just do the next color tomorrow, which is going to be, if this is dry. I didn't put any drying agent in this. So if this is dry tomorrow, I'll do the trees, at least maybe the top portion of these trees. But if I can, I'll do the top and bottom at the same time. There'll be 2 different colors. This will be more of a blue-green. It'll be a dark gradation to a lighter blue-green. And up here will be a little bit of a warmer green warmer than this yellow. It'll have some red mixed into it, kind of like this color that's here. I have some color in my palette here. This is the palette I mixed the colors on. It's pretty messy. Kind of a green like this. It's like a pine tree green. So let's see what that would look like. You know, something like this. It's hard to see. Something a little bit more like that. But again, it'll be dark at the base and it'll gradate up to a lighter warm green. So if we can do that tomorrow, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, maybe Sunday, who knows. I'll try to update you and keep it on my Instagram. Post it on my Instagram beforehand. All right, have a good weekend. See you guys later.